We welcome you back inside the CBS Arena just outside of St. John's, Newfoundland, the host city for this year's Junior National Ball Hockey Championships. We go back to the under 15 boys, or I should say we stay with them. Our last two games were with the under 15 boys. We've got the Caledon Kings out of Ontario and the Newfoundland host team. Caledon played the Newfoundland Selects earlier this morning in a great game. Kings jumped out 3-0. Selects came back, led it 5-4 late, and with 2.2 seconds left to go in that one, Caledon tied it up. What a game. Before we get going, we will have the national anthem. Well, that was my understanding, but looking down at the penalty box, there seems to be an issue with the audio, waiting for the officials. While we do that, why don't I introduce Andrew Piercy. Andrew's going to join me for the rest of the games today to do some color commentary. I kind of gave you a bit of a build-up just prior to you showing up here, by the way, Andrew. Now you've got to live up to it. Gave you a resume.
Pressure's definitely on, for sure, and hopefully my bright shirt doesn't distract too many of the players up here.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that. You have to dress down a little more conservatively when you're in the booth.
I'm going to have to go black and white for the rest of the week.
Well, this is a shirt I was given by the Ontario Ball Hockey Federation last year for the host committee. A little bright, but, if Elio wants me to wear it, I'll wear it.
It's got a lot going on, a lot of stripes.
Yeah. Almost as many as the officials. So we're still waiting for the anthem to get underway with this one. We've got 5 games done, 4 more to go. Today, 9 today, 9 tomorrow, 9 Friday. I should be good and tired by then, and all set for the medal games on Saturday. And then, Andrew, I go home on Sunday, and then next Saturday, head to St. John, New Brunswick. Here's the anthem. They're laughing as Andrew stood up for the national anthem. He knocked his chair over. So an inauspicious start to the career, although we did get in some color commentary before we started about the shirts. Anyway, we've got the Caledon Kings to our left in the black trim. Newfoundland host team with the blue, red, and white trim down to our right. Starting in goal for Caledon is number 30, Nathan Kehoe. Anthony Lavisa started the game this morning. So second game for the Kings today.
Floor looks like it's in great shape. CBS Arena doing a great job here of keeping the floor in pristine condition for this tournament.
I haven't noticed anybody with any footing issues throughout the day, so hopefully that'll hold up with humid conditions. We're talking about how humid it is outside and how warm it's been here on the island for the last couple of weeks, but no issues so far, not here at CBS. One of my favorite, let's get the scores taken off. That's from last game, obviously. Yeah, last game was a one-sided affair. Edmonton defeating New Brunswick. Ended in the mercy rule after 2 periods. Finally, we are ready. Scramble draw controlled initially by the Kings. It comes down to the blue line, clear to the right side. Dumped in. Benjamin Rousel. He'll go into forecheck against Ayub. Ayub comes away with it off the boards. And that'll get out and go all the way down the floor. Will it have enough? And it looks like yes, it will. By the way, Andrew, I do insist on calling it flooring for ball hockey.
Oh, listen, I think puck and ball might be interchangeable here today, George, but I know one thing. Rousel can really run. He can really push the D back there, and I think look for that matchup for the rest of the game here. Just him chipping and chasing and getting to the ball first.
When I started doing ball hockey, I gave myself 3 every game of skate, puck, or ice. So far, kept it to 0. Getting much better at it. I don't think I've hit 3 since my first year doing it. So I'll jinx myself. Strain down the right side. A shot way over the top of the goal. Picked up by Rousel. We'll try and chip it out. Will be held in. Good work over there by Ambitman. De Silva rips it over the top of the goal. That's DeRose, 22. De Silva is 9. Nash. DeRose took it away from him. DeRose setting up behind the goal, having a little look around. Threw it right through the crease. Nobody could get a stick on it. It comes to the near boards. Strain. Back to Ayub. Thrown into the high slot. Strain trying to get his stick free. Saunders swept it to the boards. Here's Rousel trying to get away on the right side. He was caught by Ayub. Slapped in, kept onside by the host team from Newfoundland and Labrador. Moores behind the net, coming in support of Saunders. Saunders twisting and turning at the side of the goal, lost it to Ambitman. Breakout chance for the Kings, and a big time save made by Riley Fahy in net for the host team. Acasella with that chance for the Kings. A breakaway. Players pile in behind the goal. Coming away with it is Ferlito. Acasella. That's picked off at the blue line. Kept in by the host side. A shot on goal from Lane Gavin. First good save of the game by Keogh.
I think that next time that Jacobs goes out against Acasella, he's going to have to give him a bit more gap, George. I mean, he picked that ball up in full flight, and he can run, so I really got to be aware of that matchup for the rest of the game.
King starting up from behind their own goal. Araggio to Ferry. That just failed to connect. Clear to the boards by Jewer. Still kept in by the Kings. Here's Burleton. Timchek to Ferry. Back to Timchek. Timchek swinging away from that check, gets in front, put it well wide, hoping for maybe a deflection in front. Puck went to the far boards. On it is Sulich. Sulich pinned to the boards by Jacobs, gets away. Swing around, try from a very sharp angle, nothing doing there. Thought he had the post hugged, nowhere to go. In front, careful there as it's given away, knocked out of the air, and Fahy's got it, it's still loose. Referee lost sight of it. A break there for the host team.
That's a break there for sure, but Fahy's been real sharp to start this game. He's gotten some work and some really good chances so far, and he has been solid as a rock for Newfoundland.
Well, both teams will change it. Kings getting a wholesale change. Face off to Fahy's right. Faceoff was won by Alexander Hanna, but then it's taken by the Kings. Right, another save by Fahy, cleared away from the front of the goal. Rousel, it's Alexander Rousel. Got Alexander and Benjamin, 77-72 out there. Just got one of those emergency alerts on my phone. Just a precautionary test of the emergency system. Another save by Fahy. Had a quick peek over his shoulder, kept it out. Credit to the Kings. They've had the better of the play so far. Hedges breaks in. Still loose in front. Strain in the corner. Circling. Tried to feed it out in front. Getting to it is DeRose, beating the Newfoundland team to the ball. Daw back at the blue line, sends it back in. De Silva. De Silva trying to get to his forehand, allowed to walk right in, tried to flip it up over the top of the goalie. Didn't miss by much. Good skill shown there by De Silva. Still has it. Got his name on it, doesn't want to give it away. Still has it. Trying to turn his strain, his shot goes wide. Great shift here for the Kings. Finally it comes out. They'll relieve the pressure and they'll try and get a change in. New players coming on. Kings bring it back in. Strain. Wrist shot. That hit Rousel. Didn't get through to the goal. Rousel couldn't get it out. Kept onside. Broken up at the last second and cleared out. Hetman. Quickly they move it ahead. Strain. Carlito was heading for the front of the net. Big collision along the boards. Play continues on. Bursey gets it out, but Strain plays it back to the Newfoundland end. The Newfoundland blue line at least. Strain up ahead. And backhand it down. Ampman. Tried to play it up along the boards. That was intercepted. Comes back to the point looking for a Reed Penny. They'll play it back down into the corner. In there is Bursey. Headed out in front. Just missed Jackson Howell. Bursey on it first, but he's tied up along the boards. Jewer in there trying to help out. Bursey has it. Still can't get it out. Now it's taken by Jewer. Out over center. A little bit of room on the right side. Finds Hamlin. Hamlin is stopped. Back comes DCO. To Acasella. Top of the circle, waiting. Kings were changing up their defense. Burleton is on the right point now. Right into the slot, they scored! DCO.
What a beautiful pass there in the slot. And Newfoundland a little bit tentative on defense, a little bit too much watching of the ball right now. And that's just a really, really nice shot. Not much Fahy can do on that shot there. Beautiful placement and nice little bit of curve. A lot of big difference in ice hockey and ball hockey. Obviously the curvature of the ball, and that's just a beautifully placed shot there by Caledon.
All right, let's take a look at the replay, Andrew.
Just a little bit late, and right there, that defenseman's got to come up top and get a stick in the passing lane. I think he was looking around to see if his winger was there.
All right, so 1-0 for the Kings. Check that, make it 2-0. Back-to-back real quick goals. And let's take a look at this one too. Right from the face-off.
Yeah, Newfoundland wins the draw too. That's the thing, you get a one draw, and a little chip by the D there, and tough angle shot, but sneaky shot from the right-handed, just coming down that right side. Now, Fahy probably wants to have that one back, but still, he's been tested a lot and he's been sharp. So I think Newfoundland overall, we've got to, okay, I think it's Paul Monk calling the timeout to get the guys to move their feet a little bit too tentative to start this game.
Julio Ferry makes it 2-0.
10-1 in shots, George.
Oh, all the play's been down to our right. The floor has been tipped, no question about it.
Coaching staff in Newfoundland, you can tell they're not too happy right now. I think they're just going to have to get their feet moving and get some balls in and make this white team play defense.
As I said, the Kings played to a tie against the Newfoundland and Labrador Selects this morning. One barn burner of a game. And that one they jumped out to a 3-0 lead before the Selects came back. Looks like it could be a little bit of a tougher chore for the host team in this one. We'll see what happens. Connors. Just chipped in by Benjamin Rousel. Back to pick it up is Daw. To Hedges. Hedges plays it back to Daw again. Trying to get to it was Connors. He'll come out over the red line. Jacobs dumps it in. Hedges back to pick it up. To Daw. Up to the captain, Daniel Sulage. Actually, check that. De Silva's the captain. Saunders. A little more down to our left since the timeout. It's going to be a penalty called here as well, Andrew.
I think it's going to be a hold, George. Newfoundland just trying to walk out to the front of the net, just to wrap his hand around. And as we all know in ball hockey, you've got to capitalize in your power plays with the big zone. And let's see what the Newfoundland Selects here can do, or the host team can do here with the man advantage.
Yeah, trailing by 2, they go on the power play. Can certainly change this game around in a hurry. A good power play goal. It was looking to be all Kings just a couple of minutes ago.
This is where you want to turn the momentum right here. Maybe just a setup and even just getting some pressure to just turn the momentum around a little bit.
Face-off win for the Kings. They'll send it down the floor. Back to pick it up is Nash. And they'll line up along the blue line. Nash didn't get in on that side. Just shoots it in. Now Newfoundland, the host team, will have to get in there and forecheck. They do. Come away with it. Good work there. Roberts. Back to Jewer. Long shot drifting in. Didn't get through to the goal. Nash let it fly from out by center. Too many bodies in front there. Jewer's got to get it in over the blue line again. They do. Gavin. There's no checking in this game, but nobody said it wasn't rough or physical, as we just witnessed. The ball goes out of play.
Big thing there, George. Newfoundland's got to get more players on the ball. It's a power play, and we've got a one-on-one battle on the corner. We want to have 2. We want to have numbers on that to get possession and get it up to the half wall. And just one player in the corner and everybody hoping that he can win the battle and move the ball himself. I think we got to just get to the ball and just support that ball a little bit better.
Knockdown out at center, kept in. Nash. Nash gets it a little lower. That one off of Strain, and down the floor it goes. He catches it. Five minutes to go, opening period. 36 seconds to go in the power play. Dumped in. Hemian couldn't catch up to it. Gets it back to the point though. Jewer, swing and a miss. In for Moores. Again, they'll keep it in. Nash threw it on goal, hit the back of the foot, I believe, of teammate Roberts. Top of the circle, shot off a stick, blocked. Strain with a couple of swings at it, gets it to the boards. Just a couple of seconds left in the power play, which is now over. Nash has it, long shot, off a leg. Roberts gets it out. Save made by the goaltender. That one got through. Keel with another save. Much better shift here from the host team coming out of that power play. They maintain possession. A little momentum going. Maybe. Who knows? Get a goal. Jewer with a shot. That didn't miss by much, just over the top of the goal. Keogh just got a little piece of it, enough to deflect it high. That's fed in front. Don't know what the coaching staff for the host team said during that timeout, but it seems to have worked. There it is, they score. You could smell it coming.
Just getting to the ball first, George. And the latter half of that power play and into the 5-on-5. Newfoundland, they were moving their feet, they were winning battles, and a nice little chip to the slot. And beautiful shot there to bury that goal. Let's take a look at it.
Okay, we just missed it, to be honest, Andrew. That's on me.
Oh, either way, it was the top quadrant to the net. Beautiful shot. No one's stopping that one, George, and we've got a 2-1 hockey game.
Huge goal. Kind of right the ship a little bit. Things were tilted against them a few minutes ago. They gave up those 2 goals in seconds apart. Saunders stepped on the stick of the Kings player and went down. He seems to be okay. Hedges backhands it in again for the Kings. They'll work it up along the board, cycle it back down low. Ferry. That's tipped right in front. Another chance. Sliding out to block that was Rousel. Alexander Rousel. Now the Kings pick it up again. Ferry. Trying to work off the boards. Goes down looking for a penalty. Not going to get a call. Saunders. Captain of the host team. Working against Hedges. Taken by Daw. Hedges again. Gets it out to center. No further. Now it's kicked on a little further. Jacobs over to pick it up for the host team. Off the boards. Didn't get the right angle on that. It was stolen. Back come the Kings. Scores.
George, the play there for Jacobs was over on the weak side. And he went back up the strong side where Caledon were changing. And right on the most dangerous player in this game, stick to Silva. He is a nice little player. He's been real sharp so far. Every time he's been on the floor, he's created offense, whether it be a nice through pass or a drive in the net. He hit one just over the bar a little bit ago, and he gets his first goal of this hockey game.
So they get their 2-goal lead back, 3-1. Comes just under 2 minutes left to play in the first period. DeRose. Comes to the near boards. Strain goes out of play. Last touch by Newfoundland and Labrador, so the faceoff will stay in their end. Shots on goal, 13-3 right now with 1:51 to go in the first.
That's a tough goal, too, because you just got the momentum from the 2-1 goal,
yep.
And then they come back and they score with the 2.5 minutes to play going into the half. You always say those last 2 minutes are really, really important in any half or any period, so let's see how Newfoundland responds.
Now, for many years, ball hockey was played in halves, just the 2 periods. They changed that last year, make it 3 periods, bring it more in line with what people think of as a hockey game. We're going to be talking about halves and halftime. Rather talk about periods and first and second intermissions. And I think the players like it. They get that extra little break in there. Each period's a little bit shorter than the halves. Don't get a lot of a break. 2-3 minutes between periods. Nash got it out to center. Howell trying to get it out of the zone. Still kept in and cleared, but that will be a flooring call against Newfoundland Labrador host.
About 30 seconds prior to this, George, a really nice ball over on the wall that sent Newfoundland, the host team, in on a 2-on-1. Nice play by Reed Hamlin there. Ball hockey's all about indirect passes and running into the ball. And Reed Hamlin with a nice little indirect pass there to his teammate.
Face-off win for the Kings into the slot. Off a stick and just gently floats into Fahy. Grab that. Into the final minute here in the opening period. 3-1. Caledon Kings lead the host team. This boys under 15 competition. 5 different categories of competition here at the National Juniors. Goes out of play. 3 in the boys, we got the under 19, under 17, and under 15, and 2 in the girls, the under 19 and under 16.
Great to see the game growing on the female side as well as the men's side, George.
Oh, absolutely. Last week in Mississauga, we had the largest ever field compete in the BC&D competition, 34 teams altogether, including 6 women's teams in the women's B.
It's a great sport, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's a totally different game than ice hockey for those of you who haven't played, but it is an absolute blast. And it teaches you a lot when you are transitioning from ice to ball about ball protection and puck protection, and teaches you about indirect passing and so on, and how to play defense. It's a great game.
Interesting, Andrew. I did some games in Mississauga last week with George Gortzos.
Oh, wow.
You know George,
Yeah.
right? Everybody knows George. Mr. Ball Hockey, former president of the ISBHF. He's now running the ball hockey program in Great Britain. Member of the Canadian Ball Hockey Hall of Fame and former national champion, so on. Just scratching the surface. But George said exactly the same thing about how playing ball hockey can teach you when you're playing ice hockey about positioning and protecting the ball. It's interesting. You both made the exact same comment.
Yep, and actually it's funny that you mentioned George Gortzos. He was our, I guess, team manager. He was involved with Ball Hockey Canada when I played for the junior national team back in 2004. We were in Martin and Jelena, Slovakia, so he was on the trip for 2 weeks, and we had some fun.
Well, if you're not going to have fun around George, you can't have fun. No, big personality. Host player knocked down right at the buzzer. Nothing called. All right, Andrew, let's take a quick break. We've only got a couple of minutes between periods. Let's hear from our official sponsor for these national championships, Napper. Oh. Excellent. 3-1 after the opening 15 minutes for the Caledon Kings over the host team. Start the second period, 5-on-5, no penalties on the board. Just the one in that first period, a holding penalty to the Kings. Gavin down into the corner. He goes down against Daniel Aoub. They find that one. Dumped into the corner. Tipped to the boards. Yakinuk with a shot stopped by Fahy. The ball is still loose. Who's going to find it? The Kings do. Fahy diving out, kept it out. Now a penalty coming up, likely for body contact. Yep.
Yeah, that's right there with the rebound. Ball's bouncing around. I think Newfoundland's got to do a better job of tying up sticks and bodies down in front. And to take the penalty after, that's a tough one to take. Newfoundland need to get back into this hockey game, 2-goal lead, and you do not want to give De Silva and company a power play, because I got a feeling this is a lethal unit.
They've got De Silva, DeRose, Strain, Acasella, and Ferry. Yeah, that's a pretty potent group of players. Ferry, swing and a miss there as he tried to one-time that. Strain. Bring it up the floor for the Kings. He'll play it in and go and get it himself. Good speed, just beats everybody to the ball, not even close. Silva held it in and Strain back at center now. Turns, shoots, right on goal. Rebound is there, Fahy with 2 saves. And then it is cleared by the host team.
That was an incredible save by Fahy. That might be a game changer, George.
Just under a minute to go in the power play. He'll bring it in. Acasella. Fahy with another big save. Got the right pad down, or left pad down rather. Robbed Ferry. Behind the goal. 3 Kings players in there. They're going to come up with it. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Back to Acasella. DeRose. Acasella. DeRose tried to get it to Ferry. That was intercepted. Sent down the floor. Just a dozen seconds left in the power play. Nobody touched it. It'll be a flooring call against the Kings. Not what they wanted on the power play. Just 3 seconds left. That will effectively kill that penalty for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Newfoundland go with a 4 across the blue line strategy, George, and that opens up that running dump to yourself that the Kings defenseman did there. That's really how you break that 4 across if you can't make a direct pass.
Yeah, you get a running start on everybody who's standing still at the blue line.
You see a lot of times at the men's national level, you see a 3 across the blue and one guy kind of sitting back to collect those dumps, but Newfoundland electing to go with 4 across.
Bounces into the goaltender Kehoe. No trouble there for the Kings goalie.
I think if we're giving out player of the games, George Scott AP player of the games, I think Fahy has to be in the consideration so far. What do you think, George?
Well, 21 shots. He's just given up 3 goals. Long way to go. See who can stand out from here. The shot, easy one, drifted in by Carlson. 21-7 with that shot on goal, but still just a 2-goal game. 1 goal away from making it really interesting. Here they come again. Yakanuk. Another save by Fahy. He's keeping his team in it, giving them a chance. Still a long way to go. 11:24 left in the second period.
Good to see Carlson back on the floor, George. He took a smack there right at the end of the period and went off. He went down the tunnel. So it's good to see him back and ready to play.
Face off just outside the host blue line. Won by the Kings. They'll shoot it in. Yakanuk heading in, get in on the forecheck, and he'll win the ball out to Ferry. And Ferry put his shot wide, but again, get in there, come up with that forecheck, steal the ball, get it out in front, and speed is definitely an asset for the Kings. Hand pass.
George, I think if you're coaching the Newfoundland team right now, you've got to tell your weak side winger to drop down and take away that slot pass, because that's how they scored their first goal, was exactly carbon copy to that play that they just had that went over the net. So Newfoundland got to do a little bit better at taking away that home plate area.
Bursey to face off against De Silva. Silva won it, but Newfoundland and Labrador with a chance to move on a play to the board zone and cleared away by Araggio. Slapped back in, still onside. De Silva. They move it out quickly. Pass just a little bit mishandled. Sent back down in the Kings' end. De Silva. That's onside. Will gain the zone. De Silva. And Jacobs along the boards. Comes out this side on it first. Hamlin. Good outlet pass. Bursey. Saunders will try and get in on the forecheck. Into the slot, taken away by the Kings. Strain. Stops up outside the blue line. Bring it in. DeRose. Cleared away by Fahy. Nice play by the goaltender there. Valido's all alone in front. Somehow Fahy kept it out. Yeah, put a gold star by that one, Andrew.
That was a tournament, could be a save of the tournament candidate right there, George. Just stretching out to his right and making a really, really big save.
We've seen some dandies here today. That one is right up there. I don't think anybody's going to catch this, so it'll be a flooring call against the host team.
I think we've got to mention that pass there.
Yeah.
Really, really nice slick dish there. And Caledon moved the ball really well in the offensive zone. They pass around people really well. And that was just a nice little pass, as we call it, through the triangle of the defender of Newfoundland.
Still relatively early in the second period. Still have just over 9 minutes to go. Through the boards and out. Ayub lost it as it went off his foot. Chance right in front for Newfoundland and Labrador. That was Alexander Rousel, and Keel with one of his better saves of the game. Newfoundland and Labrador come up with it. Tried to pass it back to the point one right between the two defensemen. Carlson comes back to get it from Fahy, doesn't get it out. Kept in by Ferry, that'll roll down to Fahy. Fahy comes out to play it. He's done that well too. This one didn't get out. Atman shot went in wide rather. Backing up along the boards. Rousel just gets rid of it.
George, this has the vibe of a 5 or 6 to 1 hockey game, but it's only 3 to 1, and I think that's something that the coaching staff is definitely telling the Newfoundland host team. Boys, we're just 1 goal away from being right in this, and Caledon are going to be pressing. So really just creating some momentum, and they just had a nice chance there. It was a great ball here by Noah Hemian to get that ball out to create offense.
Stick went flying. Ball stays in. Nash trying to get it out. It's it up towards the blue line. Grab there by Moores. Now they'll get it out. Shot in by the captain, Roberts. Burleton quickly moves it ahead. To Silver, to the blue line. Keeps on trucking. Got him behind the goal, working against Nash. They go towards the corner, along the end boards. 4 players in there now. Referee yelling at them to move it. Finally they do. DeRose, back to De Silva. De Silva allowed to just walk right in, scores. Made Swiss cheese of the host defense that time.
He is like he's gliding across water, George. He runs so well with the ball. It's effortless with his head up. He is a very talented player. And it all started down here with a nice pass by the defense of Caledon. It was a real nice breakout pass. But Newfoundland dumped the ball in, and they dumped it to the wrong side. And if they had kept it to the strong side, I think they could have hemmed in Caledon. But let's take a look at this goal. Just watch how well he just protects it. Nice little interference there by 22, legal interference. And it walks into the slot. Beautiful shot. No chance for Fahy there.
Yeah, we were thinking the next goal could be a big one. Get a little something going for the hosts, or Caledon could breathe a little easier. And that 4th goal for Caledon makes them a little more comfortable. Now they've controlled most of the game, and now they've got a nice 3-goal lead. A little deeper hole for the host committee to dig themselves. I knew I was going to say host committee at some point. I came close to saying it a couple of times. That time it's knockout. The host team.
We're going to have to get a swear jar going here, George, or put in $1 every time we trip up in our words.
How about a quarter?
Inflation, that's $1 nowadays.
That's all
George.
I can afford. Bounces up to Keogh. He'll hold on.
6:03 left in this hockey game. I'm sure Chris Ryan, Paul Monk, and company are saying, let's see if we can win a face-off right now. I haven't won a ton of draws in this game. See if we can bear down on one and create some offense and get back into this hockey game.
Casella taking it behind the goal. Good work by Reed Penny to force him in behind the goal, not let him get in front. Atman back at the point. That shot somehow got through all that traffic right on goal. Fahy kicked it away. Again, allowed to walk right out. That time it was broken up. Another good defensive play by Penny. Can't get it out though. Dumped right back in. Acasella will get to it first. Decio trying to find a soft spot in front of the goaltender. See him moving around. Cuts towards the goal and then backs up a little higher in the slot. Ball is dumped off the end boards, and Fahy's got that.
Reed Penny has closing speed, George. The forward on Caledon had probably 4 steps on him, and he closed the gap in a hurry. That was a really nice back check to keep this game 4-1.
Ferry against Saunders. Ferry wins it. Goes to the boards. Host team get it. Can't get it out. I'm not trying how they do. Down the floor it goes. They're saying it was touched by Kings player, so no flooring. Play continues on. Stopped at the center red line. Connors couldn't get it out. Brought back in. Ferry. He's got Saluge in front of the goal. Pass in behind Saluge. Now he'll go get it. Over to Yakinuk. Shot. Another save made by Fahy. Yakinuk fanned on that one. Went off the heel of his stick, and that will allow the host team to get it out and down the floor. Good job there by Burleton. Fend off the host player and get the ball back up the floor for the Kings. Now in a little further. Ferry to this side. Saluge. Fahy hesitated. Jumping on it was Ferry and came up with a good scoring chance. Fahy had to make the save.
The forwards of Caledon are very good, but if you go back 45 seconds ago, the play that Aaron Aregi made down here, how easily he turned on a dime to shake a forward, the forechecker, and get the ball up to the forwards. The forwards are getting the ball on time, and hockey's a complementary game, and right now the D are probably a little bit unheralded because of how good of an offensive team this Caledon team is, but the D are moving the ball to them on time.
That's put wide. Just under 3.5 left to go here in the second period. Once again, Fahy makes the save. Been just a little bit busy.
He's going to need a BioSteel after this, George. I don't know if we've got any hydration company sponsors, but I know one thing. He's going to need a BioSteel or two after this game. He's been seeing a lot of ball.
Hedges dumps it in. Picked up to Silva. Again walking out in front, this time on the backhand. Rousel. Hemian couldn't catch up to that. DeRose goes the other side. Strain winds up the big slap shot, scores! Nothing fancy there.
It goes back to my point earlier, George. If we look at the pass that Daw makes on the breakout, I don't know if we catch it on camera, but what a nice pass there. Under pressure, right on the tape, and then we go cross ice or cross floor, I should say.
Let's have a look at it, see what we get.
Just a beautiful pass, under pressure, then we go east-west, and kaboom.
It just loads up. Got a timeout been called by the host team.
George, I don't know how many timeouts are allowed to have in a game, but that's definitely their second.
Yeah, they won a period.
You have to feel a little bit for Fahy in this game. He's played very, very well, but the scoreboard, if you're just tuning in right now, you're probably saying he's just giving up 5. But man, he's been very sharp. You got to give the kid a lot of credit.
This could be a lot worse if we're being honest. Shots on goal are showing 28-8. Take that with a bit of a grain of salt. It's much higher. I mean, they just scored, and it was 28 before the goal was scored. So
This
Oh,
Caledon.
now we've bumped it up to 30-31. Somebody heard me. Just tacked down 3 more shots. And they're back in again. Fahy with another save. That's still in there. Finally, it's cleared to the boards, but Caledon on it again. Ferry with a shot. That's Filito, rather, 7. DCO in the corner. Carlson's draped all over him. In to help out. Filito again to the front. Fahy stopped that. Filito. That missed, but what a beautiful passing play. Cross down low and back up to the other side. Play all the time now in the host end. As I say that, they'll bring it out. Shoot it in, Hemian. Ampman. A slashing call.
George, if you are not playing airtight defense against the Caledon Kings, they're going to find the open man, and it could be in the back of the net. This is a team that moves the ball. They have a lot of chemistry. It's pretty apparent.
Yeah, it looks like they've been playing together for a while. DCO gone to the penalty box. 4 minutes slashing. So a power play for the host team. Just waiting until they get that put up on the board.
Referee's done a good job in this game so far, George.
Yeah, they haven't been too busy. Saunders right in front. Roberts couldn't turn and get a shot away. It goes off a leg to the near boards. Some good pressure here by the host team. Nash. That went off of Yakinock up top. Soulage out front, bounces around, shorthanded, backhand, hit the goal post. Daniel Soulage doing great work. Only 20 seconds to go in the period. Here they come shorthanded again. De Silva shot. Fahy with another save. Maybe time for one more attempt. Gotta get something going quickly. It's cleared to the boards. That's probably going to do it. And the buzzer will go, and the second period will end right there. Kings broke it open late, 5-1. After 2 periods, let's take a little break. We only get a couple of minutes. Let's take advantage of it. We'll hear from Napper, and then we'll be back with period number 3. Play has started, but they're still showing 0 up on the clock. They're going to have to stop playing a second and get the time fixed. And there it is. So we'll restart that third period.
Where are they going to put the face-off here, George?
Be tempted just to start from scratch at center, but I don't know. I guess that play has to count, so they'll do it. Yeah, but again, play ended down in the host end.
Have you ever seen this before?
Oh, probably.
Well, if I'm being honest, I don't know if I've ever seen this situation.
The game starts and the clock hasn't been reset. As I get this straightened out, just to let everybody know, our next game coming up scheduled for 5:30 this evening. We'll go back to the U17 boys. Team BC will take on the host team from Newfoundland and Labrador. We'll see another host team coming up next.
I think it's great to see two Newfoundland teams in an event like this, George. Obviously, it's kind of like a Memorial Cup where you got a host and then that other team that won the division, so to speak. I think, and it's anybody's game.
Yeah, you've got the host team and the select team in each division for Newfoundland and Labrador. We are underway here now for real in the third period. As the period started, as we were discussing, that a penalty was called against Caledon. So a power play for the host team. Trailing by 4. DeRose hustling down there. Fahy will hang on to that.
Newfoundland adding a little wrinkle to their power play, George, and getting a little bit of movement on the blue line versus just standing still. That was a nice little, that would have been a nice entry if they could have put it on the tape, but they didn't connect on it. But it was a nice little play that they ran there. Probably a little adjustment by the coaching staff to get the ball into the zone with control.
Verlito will take the face-off for the Kings against Riley Daw. And the host team controls it. Verlito up pressing, short-handed. Sometimes teams will do that, other times they'll just back up. That hits somebody over in the host bench.
Caledon team runs well, so they're just going to pressure Newfoundland and Labrador here in this situation and see if they can pass it around them. And so far, Caledon, it's worked for them so far. Newfoundland don't have any goals in the power play in this game.
One minute to go in the power play. Carlson swings it the other side to Penny. Will shoot it in. Daw back there first for the Kings. Acasella doesn't get it out. Kept in. On the backhand, players run over. Play continues. The ball goes down the floor. Roberts, they gain the zone. Roberts really being pestered along the boards. That shot somehow got through to the goaltender. Keel kept it out.
sometimes all he needs is a wrist shot, George, and that caused a lot of problems with a big rebound right out the middle, but well defended there in front by Caledon.
Hakanuk calmly gets it down the floor, and the speed there of Soulage causing problems. Penalty is now over. We'll take that off the board. Back to 5-on-5. Howell. Looks like tired legs for the host team. Fresher for the Kings. They seem to be getting to the balls a lot faster and quicker. Comes off the end boards. Kept in. Yakinuk fired it. Was looking far side. Just missed by fractions. Hampman trying to work it off the boards. Got it to the front. Jammed there by Ferry, but kept out by Fahy. Ferry's got it again. The net has become dislodged. Yep, they'll put that back.
Like you mentioned earlier, George, about it looks like Newfoundland and Labrador have heavier legs here in this period. I think that's a derivative of the fact that they've had to play defense for a lot of the first half, or the first 2/3 of this hockey game. They've been chasing or they've been defending, and defending is very tiring. And playing on offense is a lot easier on your body than playing defense and having to work to get the ball back. So I think that's really helping Caledon right now. It's a game of possession.
Strain has it knocked off his stick, and the ball goes down the floor. Back to get it, Araggio. Watched by Bursey. Comes out. Strain. Take his time, just drop it back. Burleton back to Strain. A little chip and chase. In there against Jacobs. Strain gets there first. Sets up behind the goal. Still down in the corner. And I think the host player is going to get contact to the head as he got a little bit too aggressive down in the corner.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a frustration penalty there by Ryan Jewer. Not much happening there. And Caledon going to the power play. De Silva and company and Strain and company. These guys get to go to work again, and in a 5-1 hockey game, they leave their top unit on the floor. Very interesting decision by the coaching staff. You like to move Strain back on D for their power play.
Well, we saw what kind of shot he's got.
Yeah.
He scored earlier in the game. They win the faceoff, and they'll start it with Strain. Down to De Silva. Ferry. Acachella. Ferry. A couple of more saves from Fahy. Then it's put over the top of the goal. Connors will clear it down the floor for the host team. Strain. Whoop, left it outside. He's got to come back out. That did not get in. Now Strain recognizes that. Comes out. Fahy do it himself, but it just kept in. Strain with a great job. So he came out over the center out and saw you pointing.
That was a hair offside. And the big thing, though, what Newfoundland Labrador has to understand is when there's a delayed offside call, you have to pressure up at the red line to force them to dump the ball in. And then they still have players inside the zone, but we kind of sat back and allowed them to enter the zone there. A little bit of just a little mental miscue by Newfoundland Labrador.
And the penalty was head contact, so 4 minutes. So the penalty continues. Still 2:50 left to go. On it first, Carlson, and Carlson will send it down the floor. Dumped in on the one bounce. He won't take any chances.
That's a long one for Strain there. A minute, $1:36 there for Strain, and I got a feeling he's going right back out there. Good kill so far for Newfoundland and Labrador, George.
There was an early barrage, but since then, they've done a good job. Yep. This is where the game is won and lost, right there along the boards. Again, possession taken, and that's come off. You win the battles on the boards, you make the other team defend.
Yeah, and Caledon, not only have they been first to the ball a lot in this game, they've also won a lot of faceoffs and those individual battles that you were just talking about. And they do a real good job of getting the balls off the boards into the scoring areas.
A lot easier to play this game when you're not chasing the opposition, right?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of playing the Montreal Red Light in Saskatoon back in 2014, George. I felt like we were chasing for the entire game. It was a tough game for us.
Yeah, the Red Light, a storied franchise in Canadian ball hockey. He will take it off the boards. Still a minute 34 to go in the power play for the Kings. They gained the zone easily. Just bringing it in was Dylan Ayub. Still has it. Hampman. DCO shot on goal. You hear that one hit the pads of Fahy. Bouncing around in front of the Newfoundland goaltender. Paired back to the point. Ayub didn't get a lot on that. But Newfoundland Labrador can't clear it. Still just over 40 seconds left in the power play. Ferlito, over the top of the goal it goes. DCO with another chance. Ferlito backs up, gives himself a little bit of room, gets a good shot away. Fahy with yet another save. And yet another one.
What a performance by Fahy in this hockey game, George.
And finally, the penalty comes to an end. And that will allow the host team to get it up the floor, get it in deep. Roberts, he's pinned against the boards by Ayub, and out come the Kings. DeRose hopped over the stick of De Silva. Hannah made one move and then lost it to the next player. Strain moving to the front of the goal. He was open a couple of times, trying to give himself some space. And he gets knocked down. Play allowed to continue. Backhand over the top. De Silva. Knocked down, cleared out, racing onto it. Saunders, he was cut from behind. DeRosa goes across, or rather DeRose to DeRosa. Strain has it bouncing around in front of Fahy. Couldn't get a stick on it. I'll go straight up. Nobody saw it right away. Hedges hustles in from the right point to keep it in. De Silva finally lost it. Saunders pass off the stick of Roberts. Strain, turns, shoots it in. Fahy's got it. And Fahy says, I'm just going to hold on to this right now and catch my breath.
George, very interesting strategy here for Caledon. This game is well in hand, and they're rolling out that top line at De Silva over and over, and Strain just took a whack down in front. You're going to want him to be healthy for the rest of this week. I'd probably consider giving those guys a little bit of rest and getting some of my other guys into the rest of this game.
Fahy will cover it again. Still almost 4 minutes to go in this one.
Fahy's going to be like Sergei Bobrovsky, where he loses all the weight in between and during the games. He's definitely going to drop a couple of pounds in this one, I think.
Again, when this one does end, we'll turn our attention back to the U17 boys. BC versus the Newfoundland and Labrador hosts. So in the U17, this is the U15. Ferry all alone at the right. That was Daniel Soulege, and if he'd gotten the ball, could have stopped, had a chat with Fahy before shooting it. Nobody near him.
I think the coaching staff of Newfoundland and Labrador are saying, boys, let's just not leave Fahy out to dry for the rest of this game. Just get in shooting lanes and block shots and compete for him, because he's battled really hard in this hockey game to keep Newfoundland and Labrador within striking range.
Acasella, that pass right on the stick of the Newfoundland and Labrador player, Jewer. Acasella, again, a little bit offline. Jewer with his shot, jamming at the side of the goal, but keeping it out is Keogh. And they're going to call a penalty against the Newfoundland and Labrador player. The ball was under the goalie's pad. The whistle had gone. He took another poke at it.
2:35 to go. Let's see who they're sending out, and the coaching staff is sending out Strain's line. I guess they're looking to get him a couple extra reps and get comfortable for tomorrow. We will see. We've seen a lot of this. This is their first power play unit. They like to go with this 5 together, and they move the ball as well as anybody.
Yeah, it's De Silva centering Ferry and DeRose. Strain and Acasella back at the point. There's Acasella to Strain, back to Acasella. DeRose. Acasella De Silva with a blast, and Fahy comes up with another gem. DeRose goes up top, scores. And that'll make it 6-1. Let's take a quick peek at how this group throws the ball around so beautifully. Up, a little bit late. My bad again. It was after they scored.
If you notice the Newfoundland team's
here it is.
They've got to play a little bit lower and just collapse down and make the ball work up top and get the ball above the top of the circles versus letting the players go with that rainbow road pass and getting it down to their dangerous pieces down with their forward core. But you're picking your poison against this team.
We didn't have the penalty up on our scoreboard, and here in the arena they had trouble getting the penalty off the scoreboard. Reason for the little delay. Under 2 minutes to go now. We still have De Silva and Strain, DeRose out there. This is DeRose. Lost it to Roberts. And Roberts gave it away, taken back by De Silva to Strain. Fahy with one more save. Strain into the middle. De Silva. DeRose heading for the front of the goal. Pass did not get through to him. Entman following up on it. Into DeRose to the front of the goal and cleared away by Newfoundland and Labrador. We're into the final minute now of this game. Salege got it out in front, taken away by Roberts. Moore. Blue line, no further. Saunders down the floor. Hedges back to get it for the Kings. Hannah's all over him. They get all tangled up, and Kings come in to take it and clear it out. Ferry, less than 10 seconds to go. Ferry drops it back. Shot, another save made by Fahy. Unbelievable. 0.3 seconds.
George,
I don't know if I've seen a performance by a goaltender which has given up 6 goals that's been as good as this.
George, he could have a full YouTube highlight reel today, man. Honestly, what a great performance by Fahy. I know the scoreboard might say otherwise, but man, he was tremendous. Even taking a shot right there at the end of the game.
Right off the faceoff. That counted. Shots on goal, 55-13. Sometimes shots on goal aren't indicative of how a game is played, but I think that's fair. The game was dominated by the Caledon Kings here this evening, or this afternoon. What time is it? 5:08. We can call it this evening now.
Well coached. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, George. Allen Jackson.
Yeah.
No, that's a well-coached Caledon team. I think they're going to be a team that contends in this tournament based on how well they move the ball and how their D move the ball up to the forwards, and it's just very complimentary right now. And their power play is very, very good. You can't give this team 5-on-4, let alone a 5-on-3. They have it figured out there today, and tomorrow's a new day, but they look pretty sharp today, and 2-0 record would definitely indicate that.
Well, they actually tied their first game against the Selects.
Was it a tie?
Yeah, they scored with 2.2 seconds left to tie it up. It was a crazy one. But yeah, it's a good-looking team. The team's supposed to just go and line up on the blue line so we can do the play of the game presentations and get the next game started, but they've decided to do the entire handshake thing with each other and the officials.
All right, George, for fun, who are you picking?
Well, it's tough, these are decisions usually made by the coaches, and they sometimes spread them around. It's not always the guy who comes up with. I mean, it's got to be Fahy for. With that said, for the host team.
I think Vahi should just walk up to the penalty box right now. I think he was hands down. He was the best player, and for the white team, I think you can give it to a lot of players. There was a lot of
the coach can
yeah.
spread that one around. A lot of
Yep.
guys played really well.
Yep.
Caledon Kings player of the game goes to number 15, Daniel Soulej.
Soulej, number 15, player of the game.
You know what, George? If you look at his last shift on the floor, he back checked, and in a 6-1 hockey game, what a back check!
So he said in the movie Casablanca, "I'm shocked." Shocked to find that Fahy is the player of the game. If you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know the line.
Yeah, I'm going back to the VHS days. I think, George, maybe a DVD.
Oh, long before that. 1942. It's a movie I've only seen about 30 times, I think.
Do you miss going to the movie store?
No.
You like the Netflix?
Yeah.
Well, AOTV Live, you're not getting any better than that.
All right, 6 games done here on AO.Live. We've got 3 more to do before the evening is done. We've got one coming up in the boys under 17 in a few minutes. Time to step aside, catch a little break, grab our breath, start again. You're watching the 2023 Canadian Junior National Ball Hockey Championships from the host city, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. We are at the CBS Arena, just on the outskirts of the capital city. Back in a few minutes.